Per 9000's Game Room.
Okay, Asterix was a 1993 platform game for the SNES. It was made and published by Infogrames. There was also a NES and Game Boy version of the game, but as far as I know, these were made by a Spanish company called Bit Managers. The games are based on the comic book series Asterix. An interesting little fact about this game is that it was only made available in Europe, so it's one of the few SNES games to be a European exclusive, basically because most of the other regions would have sat there going, who the heck is Asterix? Having grown up watching Asterix animated films, I have a lot of love for the world that's contained within them. I've always been a big fan of the characters, especially Asterix's best friend, the big chubby but mighty Obelix. This is where the game gives me my first mighty kick to the testicles, as the story for this game is basically that Obelix has been kidnapped by the Romans, and it's up to you as Asterix to save him and bring him home to your village. So, no playing as Obelix for me. This game came out in 1993, 1 year after Konami bought out an Asterix arcade game. An arcade game that I was very fond of for many reasons. It was based on the same French comic series, but you got to play as either Asterix or Obelix in a Final Fight style 2D walk-along beat-em-up, filled with awesome graphics full of charm. Now, it might seem harsh to judge a SNES game against an arcade machine, but remember, in 1992, we had seen an almost arcade-perfect port of Street Fighter II: The World Warriors, so we'd seen what the SNES was capable of given the right people for the job. So stick with me here. I turn on the game and find I have to be Asterix. Not so bad, I guess. Then I learn it's a 2D platformer. Fair enough, there have been some darn good ones, especially on the SNES. But then I see the graphics, and I'm not exaggerating here, this game could essentially be recreated on the Master System graphics-wise with a few changes. The sprites are small and rather basic, the backgrounds are also pretty darn basic, with just enough colours and shapes to make out some sky with white clouds and grass and a bit of water. The foreground is better, but once you've noticed how basic the background is, you really can't unsee it. Having played the Master System Asterix game from 2 years before this, I actually think it has a better Asterix sprite. To be fair to the game's graphics, there are a fair amount of different environments, including the Gaul fortresses, the Swiss Alps, Egypt, and, of course, being an Asterix game, Rome. The real problem with this game is that Infogames did not bring a single new idea to the gaming table, so what you have here is a basic 2D platformer with basic graphics. There are cool little visits from characters like Dogmatix, who will do something to help you against the Romans. For example, Dogmatix will bite the nearest soldier on the bum, taking him out of the action. It's animated well and it raises a smile. Asterix starts off easy as anything, but as it goes on it can get quite challenging in places. Sometimes it is in fact a little frustrating. This can be due to the placement of enemies and the unsureness of how it wants you to proceed. Add on to this that unfortunately there are some occasions of flawed collision detection, and you have a bit of a flawed game here. The music is pleasant enough, but some of the sound effects are very basic. Overall, this game feels kind of like a budget title. If you really like Asterix or platformers, then feel free to give this game a bash, but there are a lot better games out there. I'd give this game a 6 out of 10. It's functional, enjoyable, but was never going to set the world on fire. If you want to try this game, a loose cart goes for around the £10 to £13 price range last time I checked. I would add though that if you're a multi-format collector, you could probably get a copy of the Master System Asterix boxed for this price, and I feel it's in fact a much better, more enjoyable game. I never thought I'd be recommending a Master System title over a Super Nintendo game, but there you go. I'd happily give the Master System Asterix 8 out of 10 and a heavy recommendation. Actually talking about it is making me wish I still had it. Maybe that'll be one for me to look out for at some point in the future. Okay, that's Kerr9000 signing off saying keep on gaming.